I'm the plant gals. This is my dorm. I'm a Canadian plant collector, and today I'm going to show off how I collect plants in my very small space. I have probably around 100 plants. It's going to be a plant tour, and then also a little bit about how I grow in the space. Obviously I have my IKEA greenhouse cabinet behind me, and I have a couple other little setups in my dorm that make it possible to have my collection here. So if you live in an apartment or a small space and you're looking for some tips and tricks on how to grow in small spaces, how to have a plant collection in small spaces, or just kind of to check out my plants and have some fun, then this is the right video for you. So before we get started, this is my dorm. So this is where I keep all my plants. It's very small in here. I have an IKEA plant ladder, which I keep some of my plants on, and it works really well because they just get some of the light from the cabinet and some of the light from my dorm light, and they actually seem pretty happy in here. And then I have my IKEA greenhouse cabinet, which you can see is packed to the brim, a couple little things on top of it. Sometimes I keep more plants up here and throw a grow light on top when I have more plants, but right now I don't have as many as I usually have, so I'm just kind of vibing with my mature micans up top here. And then I have this little IKEA ladder thing I got from IKEA. It's really cute. I keep some of my plants on here. Ooh, one of my butterflies fell off the wall. And then I have another couple of those little shelf ladder things that they're stackable. So I have some of my plants on here. This is where they get the light from the window. And then I keep all my plants in my window here in my dorm. Then last up on the other side, I keep some of my bigger plants on top of my dresser with a grow light up top there. So basically in the daytime, I come in, I turn on my grow light, and those guys are just happy up there for the rest of the day. So you can kind of see when I give the big tour how I organize my plants, how I keep them in this space. I don't have a ton of space in here, as you can probably see. The bulk of them are in the cabinet by the window and then up there on the shelf. I think it's really important to stack your plants and be smart about where you keep them and making sure that they're getting what they need, like enough light and enough resources, and that you don't forget about them. Because I think something that I did originally was I put some plants up here and I almost forgot about them. So really be mindful about where you keep your plants, that you're going to be checking in on your plants even if they're up somewhere high, because that's super important. So now to start my tour, I'm going to start with my golden dragon philodendron. He is so cute. I bought him for about $15. It's got a new leaf coming in here. You can see some of the variegation poking out on the little spots. It gets more variegated as it gets older, and I had it in my cabinet for a while, but it's actually doing really well outside of the cabinet. So he's just kind of vibing outside, hanging out next to my splendid. So I've had this guy a while too. I cut him. He looks like he had some issues putting out this newer leaf. It looks like it broke, which is very sad. But yeah, this is a beautiful plant. It's one of my favorites. I have it on kind of one of those more expensive moss poles that it seems to really like. And yeah, like I'm just obsessed with this little guy. Same with this one here. This is my very large Hoya Polynura. It used to live in my cabinet, but I don't have enough room for it in there anymore. It's been cut a million times. If you ever want some, DM me. I have so much of it. It's growing much slower now, if at all, now that I've taken it out of the cabinet. So I'm definitely considering sticking it back in because it's happier in there, but I just don't have the room for it right now. So yeah. And then beside that is looking a little sad. I used to have, if you see my TikTok, a lot of plants in my window. They actually all fell from the hooks that are up there, and they landed on some of my plants, and one of the ones that took the brunt of it was my Monstera aurea, because of course it was. This is its main leaf. It has 2 growth points, with this one coming in, which doesn't get a lot of variegation, and then this guy here, which you can kind of see does get a lot of variegation. It would have been such a beautiful leaf, but of course it had to get ruined. She's one of my favorite plants, and I'm currently in the works of trying to trade for another one, which is kind of funny because I actually don't buy duplicate plants, so that's kind of the exception. That's how much I love my Monstera aurea. So now looking at the inside of my cabinet, the bottom is anthurium and philodendron mostly, and one orchid, And then the top is Hoya, Begonia, Dischidia, and kind of anything that needs a little bit extra humidity. So we'll start over here with some of my Dischidia. So I have an Oenantha white diamond, a variegated string of nickels, which is so cute. It looks like little Skittles. It's one of my favorite plants. And then I have this Dischidia, I can't remember the name, but it's a watermelon Dischidia. And then my other Dischidia is my Million Hearts over here. It's not a non-variegated one. Dischidia imbricata in there. It's kind of hard to focus because of the Million Hearts in the way. And then I have a green apple, which is vibing in there. And that's all my Dischidia. I got them from one person who was kind enough to give them all to me, and I love them so much. So then my little begonias is I have an Amphioxus who kind of died back, but you can see he's coming back to life down there. And then I have this one, which was actually gifted to me by somebody who makes their own begonia hybrids. I can't remember which ones it is right now, but she is super cute and I've had her for a long time. I actually have a mini version of her in my terrarium, which I'm gonna get little isopods in. And then below that, I have my Florida Beauty, who I thought was gonna be low variegation based on this leaf, and then it put out this leaf, and then it did that. So I'm just so happy about that plant and how it's doing. Another begonia I have is Milano Bellata. You can see little spikes on it. It's not mature yet, but it's getting there. I love this plant. It is so unique and so cool. And then behind it, I have my dark form Lacunosa. I thought it was a crass splash when I first got it because of the way it looked, but it's not. Clearly, it grows very fast. It had 2 leaves when I got it less than a year ago. So yeah, she's big. And then another cute little one I have is the Onycha Hoya. It is so fluffy, it feels like a little cat, and it grows pretty slow compared to my other Hoya, so just keep that in mind if you're getting it. And then behind I have, this is my Royal Hawaiian Pubicalyx. Sorry, they're all kind of mashed together in there. Behind it is my Calamonton, and then I have this No ID, which sunstresses really beautifully and has these really beautiful veins that I love so much. Beside those guys is like one of the biggest prides in my collection, which is my Clemensorium. It is so beautiful. It grows so quickly compared to other people's. I had it as 2 leaves. It has a lot more than that now. I had to cut it so you can see its new growth point is coming in there. This leaf is the newest leaf. Yeah, but it's so beautiful and it's so splashy compared to other ones I've seen, so I'm just really proud of that guy. In behind, who's kind of hard to see, is I do have a Dakii hiding back here. It's really rooted but not growing, so that's kind of bizarre. And then in front of him, I have my variegated multiflora, who is beautiful. It gets really nice variegation when the leaves are coming out. When they harden, they get a little bit less variegated almost, but I really enjoy them. And then multiflora, it flowers a lot. It's flowered completely once, but it usually drops off its flowers like it's doing right now. At the bottom of my cabinet, I'll start to the left, I have my beautiful Philodendron serpents. It came with 2 leaves. It has a lot more than that now. It's so fuzzy. It's one of my favorite plants. I love it so much. And next to it is my Weraquianum. This is one of the most beautiful plants I've ever seen. I really can't think of any plants more beautiful than this. I got it as an Equigenera import. It is finally starting to root up. It doesn't have anything going on, no new leaves or anything exciting yet, but it is quite a mature plant and it is beautiful. Behind that, I have a pretty big little tower of Philodendron gigas, which is probably one of my favorite philodendron. It is such a cool plant. I love that it has no sinus. Well, almost no sinus. I guess it has a tiny little bit of sinus, but I've had that one for a while, and then it's mixed in with one that I actually rescued from somebody else. And then beside that guy, this is my Amazon Sunset. You can see why it's called the Amazon Sunset on the back. It gets that red coloring. It's a type of Verrucosum. It has these gorgeous red fuzzy stems. It's putting out its first new leaf too. This one also came from an Equigenera import. I have this little milk confetti who I got very small for $8. It is not very small anymore, and I just love it. It's kind of sentimental to me because of how tiny it was when I got it. Then Papilamenum, pretty rare anthurium. You really don't see them very often. I do have, this is not a hybrid, this is a real Papilamenum. It's got even like the little red sinus in there. Such a beautiful plant. It grows really quickly for me. I have had no problems growing it. Its first leaf it put out was this one, and now it's put out this one. So it's maturing up really quickly, which I love as well. And then kind of like in here, this is my silver lady in a hedgehog pot because I own a hedgehog. I love Scindapsus. This is such a cute, tiny little plant. I love it so much. I think it's just so tiny and so cute, which kind of goes together with my little tiny cute clarinervium in here. It's pretty small, but I really like the little heart-shaped leaves. It was a gift from my mom, so I really enjoy that one. Then down here, last year, I actually bought myself moving gifts when I moved into my first dorm that I collected plants in, and that was my Epipremnum pinnatum and Camposportuanum. They are tiny. They have been tiny as long as I've had them. They grow so slowly. My Campo is finally starting to grow quickly, it looks like. Hopefully I'll be able to have a nice big plant of it soon. But yeah, this Epipremnum grows so slow. I don't know if I'll ever have a big one. I mean, hopefully maybe years from now, but we'll see. And then this one is really cool and unique. If anybody knows what it is, please comment or let me know. But as far as I know, I'm one of the only people that has one. It is a variegated type of Syngonium with some sort of mutation that makes the leaves a very strange shape. It was gifted to me by a friend here in Edmonton, and I'm one of the only people I think that has one, but I don't really know. I could totally be wrong on that. I've never seen another one other than the one from the person who gifted it to me. So yeah, she's pretty special. I couldn't tell you what it is, but next to it is my beautiful, I say that about every plant. I say every plant is beautiful. Take a shot every time I say it's beautiful. But this is my Forgetii. This leaf here is the newest leaf. It got stuck on the Syngonium over here. It's also putting out something cute in there. Don't know what that's gonna be. Hopefully a leaf, but it kind of just looks like a nub right now. And then I have a little orchid. But yeah, this is the entirety of my cabinet. She is large and in charge, and I love her so much. It's where I keep all my plants that mean the most to me usually. And it's just such a beautiful thing to add to my space. Hiding in my little shelf ladder thing is my Acicularius Monstera. I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong. And then I have a Jerry Horn right there. And then a Stenbaloum Philodendron. So these two are Philodendron. This one's a Monstera. They're all living in leca in tiny little party cups, and they're very cute right now. Same with all this stuff down here. I won't go through it all. These are all propagations that I've taken from my plants that I sell or give away to friends. And one of my favorite plants, I'm gonna say that about every plant, but like this guy really is my Jade Satin Scindapsus. It is huge compared to other ones I've seen. It was not very big when I got it, maybe only 4 leaves. And it grows so quickly for me. I love this plant so much. It is just so beautiful. Its leaf shape and its colors are just so stunning, and it's so cool. This is also a rescue that I have. It's a very large Syngonium confetti, not a milk confetti, just a regular one. It has so much variation in the types of leaves that it gets, as you can see, and I really enjoy it. It's really big compared to all the other Syngonium I have, and I'm really happy that I rescued this guy because it deserved a second life, and it really doesn't even look like a rescue now. Down here I have, this is the newest leaf on my Florida Ghost. It is really starting to mature, and it's really beautiful. You can see all my tiny little Florida Ghosts that I've propagated all over my room from this guy. So he's smaller than he once was, but clearly coming back with quite some vigor. And then this is my Cupulus pathum. It is gonna be a big pillowy anthurium, one of the ones that get like super curtainy giant leaves. Sorry, my roommate's brushing her teeth in the background. And they're just so gorgeous when they're mature. This one hasn't put out any new leaves yet. It was also in the Equigenera import that I did, and I can't wait to kind of see what it does. Obviously, I have a giant Philodendron Pink Princess. This was gifted to me from my mom when it was very tiny. She imported it for a lot of money, which is really funny because they're really not worth much now, but it was a really beautiful gift that she got for me when I first started importing plants. Almost every leaf it puts out does this and is ugly. Sometimes you get a nice beautiful one like that, but not very often. And then something that's kind of funny is that I had this guy. I really wanted a medium silver for a long time, and a shop in Edmonton was selling it. I bought it as my leaving Edmonton plant when I went home for the summer. And it just kind of vined out. It didn't really put out leaves, and I wasn't totally loving it. And then I watched this wild fern video where she puts one on a pole and it starts to do really well, and you can see in like update videos in the future that it's just like killing life. And so I decided to do that to mine, and I love it so much more. It is so happy. This is the newest leaf that it put out, which is kind of a funny, like ugly big fat leaf, which I love. The leaf before that was this one. It looks like it's working on a new leaf in there right now. So yeah, big thanks to Wild Fern for helping me out with that one. Then I have this one, which was a gift from my boyfriend. It is a white princess. You can see its new leaf coming in is gonna have a lot of white on it, which I love. And yeah, I also have a true Snow Queen pothos in here. It was also gifted to me by a friend here in Edmonton, and I love it so much. It was just cuttings when I got it. They're all rooted now and rooting in this little tiny pot, which is so cute. I'm gonna pull this one out, and I have to show it on the floor because this is my Monstera Thai Constellation. It was a gift for Christmas from my mom, so it is very important to me. But when I was on vacation, it got burnt. Obviously, I was away in Victoria for a week, and the sun was very hot, and my parents didn't notice that this was happening. But as you can see, I actually have a quite mature plant. This is the newest leaf here. It's kind of hard to see, but it even has secondary fenestrations. It has one beautiful leaf that didn't get touched in the event, and yeah, it's gorgeous. It has a very, very nice variegation. I'm excited for the next leaf that comes out because it'll look nice and pristine like this one and not like all the other sad ones that it has right now. So yeah, but I just had to bring that one out to show it because it's so important to me, and I love this plant. It was such a beautiful gift, and I'm just very thankful for owning it. Another rescue I have is my Ring of Fire. We call him Johnny. It's obviously the Johnny Cash Ring of Fire. I really like him. I've thought about selling him a bunch of times, but I end up keeping him because I like him so much. Next, I have my Monstera albo. I got it, once again, kind of as a lower variegation plant. You can kind of see, I mean, it's got good variegation, but it's not crazy. And the first leaf it puts out does this. It's so beautiful. It's so minty. It's almost like a mint one. I didn't pay a mint price for it, but yeah. The creme de la creme of my collection is obviously my boob cactus. I can't remember what it's actually called. Everything that's grown is like that little bluey stuff at the top that look like the fuzzier and kind of fatter boobs. The skinnier boobs are where I got it. So it's got a good like inch or so of growth since I've gotten it. These are the only succulents or cacti or that type of thing that I have. This is a succulent that was imported from Korea. I'm not doing it justice. And that is a lithop that is a special purple type that was imported from Korea. So yeah, they're not the happiest, but what can I say? This guy might be kind of hard to show because my Burl Marx is trying to steal the spotlight. But in my little snail pot here, I have from Urban Outfitters, I have a Cream Splash, who I'm just growing up a pole to see if I can kind of get some bigger leaves to grow on it. It looks like it has a new leaf back here, which is, ooh, really cool. I really like the Cream Splash. I do like it more than the Brazil. I don't know if it is like worth the hype, but yeah, I'm not gonna move this plant. It's huge. I have a very, very large Burl Marx variegata. I've had it for a long time. My dad bought it for me. It was one of my first rare plants, and I love it very, very, very much. An easy one to show right now is my Hoya Linearis. It is very long. It was not very long when I got it. Yeah, I don't even, also my desk is so messy. I study biochemistry and I hoard lots of stuff, so please ignore that. I'm gonna show my plants on top of the cabinet. It's gonna be a little bit messy, but here we go. This is my Philodendron Majesty. It is almost black. I love it so much. Ecuagenera import. If you ever find one, get one. It's so beautiful. This is an epipremnum, so a pothos. Well, not a real pothos, but that's a different story. Shangri-La, so it's got that mutation that makes it like a little bit curled, which is so cute. And then I have this beautiful Polydendron, another gift from my boyfriend. You can see down there, he's getting quite long. I'll give an update on my Instagram once this leaf is totally unfurled, because this one got a little bit sun damaged when it was coming out, and it would have been another inch or two longer, so I'm really excited to see how long this one gets. I just love velvety plants, and this one is just so beautiful. Then I have my Syngonium erythrophyllum. It gets almost black foliage. It had this tiny leaf, it's dried up now. I put out this very tiny leaf, which I thought was so cute, but kind of obviously not what you're looking for. And then this is my Scindapsus exotica, nothing too crazy. I have a Calkins Gold back there, super weird plant, but really unique. And then I have this in here. It's an Aglaonema spilled milk. You can see that it has like really cool variegation. Sorry, my roommates are talking. And yeah, that's pretty much my plant collection. So yeah, that's my plant collection. I'm very new to making YouTube videos. As you can probably tell, it's probably gonna be quite crappy. I'm trying my best. I study biochemistry, so this is gonna be something that I do when I have time. But yeah, that's my plant collection. If you have any questions, or you want to trade plants, or you want to reach out to me, just DM me on my Instagram. I'm the Plant Gals. And yeah, thank you for watching.